Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Mama Ming. My channel, I do a variety of parenting, motherhood, pregnancy, everything in my life videos. If this is the first time in my channel, make sure you subscribe. In today's video, I want to share with you my try to conceive tips. So when I was trying to conceive, I watched a bunch of these videos, so I'm super excited to share with you as well. A little bit background, I had 2 pregnancies in the past. My first pregnancy sadly, unfortunately, ended in miscarriage around the 7 weeks and 1 day. And my second pregnancy was a very successful one, and my baby is currently 7 months old. So in today's video, I just want to share with you my tips of trying to conceive. I hope this video can be helpful to you as well. First of all, trying to conceive, if you're serious about trying to conceive, it's very important to track your cycles. I always track my cycles in my life because when I was a teenager, I didn't have regular cycles. So I actually didn't ovulate for so long when I was a teenager because my cycles were always like 21 days. So if you have shorter cycles, that's shorter than 25 days, it's important to talk to your doctor about it, talk to your OB about it, and maybe like use ovulation strip to see if you're actually ovulating. To conceive, the most important thing is to make sure you're actually ovulating. And it doesn't matter, like, of course it depends on your age, right? But just think about it. I felt like I didn't ovulate my entire life until like I actually went to the doctor, and there was one point I didn't even have my period. So just something important, if you're thinking about having children, go to your OB/GYN and talk to your doctor. Most of the cycles ranges between 25 days to 35 days. But when it's shorter than 25 days, if it's like 21 days, you may not ovulate every single month. But you never know until you talk to your doctor, right? So in my case, I talked to my doctor, and then I also went to acupuncture, and then it completely fixed my cycle to be like exact 28 days. It may fluctuate from time to time depending on the stress or whatever, but usually 28 days. So first thing is to get down with your cycle, take care of yourself. Menstrual health is so important, regardless if you're trying to conceive. Second thing is, as you're tracking your cycles, you may track your body temperature. There are different devices you can do. You can actually use a body temperature thermometer that's specifically designed for trying to conceive. It's very sensitive. Personally, I use Fitbit Charge 5. I'm a fitness junkie. This one tracks the changes of my body temperature. This actually is another way to track if you ovulate every single month, because usually your skin temperature or your morning temperature is a good indicator of your hormone changes of every single month. So your body temperature is a good indicator of your ovulation, of your like cycle. If you want to do it, you need to do it immediately right away as you wake up in the morning. Test your body temperature immediately before any physical activity. This means do not drink any water, do not wake up, do not walk around the house. Put the thermometer right next to your nightstand and just like test your body temperature immediately. So that is like a lot of work to do. And actually my doctor told me to do when we were trying to fix my cycle when I was a teenager, is like to track my body temperature, and he gave me a chart. But this one is good enough. So usually your body temperature is low before your ovulation, in the follicular phase of your cycle, and then after your ovulation, your body temperature will increase like crazy, like a crazy amount. So it would just stay high until the first day of your period, or the day before your period, it will drop. So of course your body temperature doesn't know like if your day or night. So sometimes it may happen like during the day. So you may ovulate during the day, you may ovulate at night, we don't know that, and your body temperature will increase from there. So but if you're serious about conceiving a baby, first is to track your cycle, make sure you're ovulating, and also I highly recommend to track your temperature. I use Fitbit. It's really good. It's good enough. It doesn't give me the specific temperature of my body, but it tracks the trend of the changes from the average, which I think it's good enough. Also, I want to say that the body temperature method, you almost always know after you ovulate, because you will know if you ovulated until you see your body temperature already increase. And it's not the best way to conceive, but it's the best way to know when you ovulated. So to know to try to conceive, you need to know your ovulation day before you actually ovulate, which just goes to my third thing to do. The third thing to do to actually pinpoint when you ovulate is to use a ovulation strip. So personally, I bought this like easy at home ovulation strip. It's so cheap, and the ovulation strip is different from your pregnancy strip in the sense that it's actually to test the surge of LH hormones, but you always have this hormones in your body. It's just after, like, it's just before ovulation, the LH hormone will surge, like we will peak, and once it surges really high, it will stimulate your body to ovulate. So if you don't have any surges of LH hormones, you probably won't ovulate, because that's one of the things that triggers ovulation, I believe. But so to me, I start to test my LH hormones using my ovulation strip about 9 days from the first day of my period. So here's the thing, you may ovulate on the 14th day of your period if you have 28 days. From my tracking, every single month is different. In some month I ovulate the 12th day, in some month I ovulate in the 17th day. So it's really like you never know when you ovulate, right? So if you don't use the strip, it's even if you have a regular period, it's hard to know, like to pinpoint like which specific date that you ovulate for that specific month, because your ovulation is triggered, it's actually like triggered by hormones, and there are a lot of things affecting our hormones. Your sleep, your diet, if you're under stress, it all play in a role, because your sex hormones are made with cholesterol. So the cholesterol is also used to produce cortisol levels. So when your cortisol level is high, your all of the things that you go to build your sex hormones may actually go to build your cortisol level instead of building your sex hormones. So if you are experiencing stress, you may not ovulate that month. You may miss the period even. So a very important thing is like to track if you really want to do it like really fast. So I always start testing on the 9th day post my first day of my period, and I start to test every single day. And different from your pregnancy test, the best time to test it is not the first thing in the morning, but maybe like somewhere in the afternoon. However, some days I like start to gradually see the changes of the lines. So with LH line, you're always gonna have a test line and a control line. So to say it's positive is to have a test line that's the same darkness of your control line or darker than your control line. So this is different from pregnancy test. Pregnancy test, like if you have a line on the test line, it means you're pregnant, whether if it's dark or not. Versus the ovulation strip is you always have a line, right? But usually the test line is lighter than your control line. It will slowly get darker and darker and darker. Once your test line is the same darkness of the control line, it means you're ovulating soon. You may test again in like 5 or 6 hours, it may get even darker, and then next day after the ovulation, it may go light again. So I start test 9th day after my first day of period until I get a super dark line, and then I continue to test until it goes like very faint or somewhat faint again. So what I do is that, like, if you're gonna do the baby dance, try to baby dance before the ovulation. The sperm needs to wait for the egg, right? The guy has to wait for the girls to get ready. So you have a higher chance of conception if you have sperm in your system before you ovulate. A sperm may be alive in your system for up to 5 days. So you want to start baby dance once you see the lines start to get darker, right? You could baby dance every single day or every other day. So because if you do every other day, like there's gonna be sperm right there in your system, you know, from the day before. Just baby dance every day or every other day. You don't have to baby dance multiple times. So once you start to see that line on your ovulation strip slowly get darker, baby dance right away, and if the sperm may be in the system waiting for the egg. And after, once the egg is released, it may stay alive in your system for 12 to 24 hours. So this is why you want to baby dance before the ovulation, because the sperm can be alive for 5 days, up to 5 days, versus the egg will only be alive for 1 day. So you do the math, right? So always the sperm needs to wait for the egg. Now let's talk about other things to take care of our body to increase the chance of likelihood of conception. First of all is to manage your stress. So previously when I talked about like stress, your sex hormones are they're made with cholesterol, right? So, and your cortisol levels are made with cholesterol. So if you're super stressed, your body is producing a lot of cortisol levels. So your sex hormones may go lower. And if you don't have enough like female hormones or reproductive hormones, you may not ovulate, or it may impede your cycles, your reproductive health. So first thing important, if you're trying to conceive or thinking about having baby soon, even if you're thinking about having baby in like 6 months, try to manage your stress, do a lot of yoga, meditation. Just if there's anything toxic in your life, let it go. Cut people out, it's okay. Take care of yourself, prioritize yourself. If you're thinking about having baby, prioritize yourself, because your body, you want to create a safe vessel for your baby, especially during the pregnancy, right? So first thing is manage stress. Second of all is to get on prenatal right away if you're thinking about having babies. So doctors actually recommend that if you're thinking having babies in a year, start having prenatals right now, because a lot of times, like if you don't have enough vitamin B's, if you don't have like different nutrients in your body, your baby may have a birth defect, like there's a higher chance of miscarriage and things like that. So if you're thinking having baby next year, start taking prenatal right now. Folic acid is very important. So, and also there's a group of people who don't absorb folic acid well. So you need to take methylfolate. I happen to be part of it. My doctor did a blood test when I was pregnant and she was like, no, you need to take methylfolate instead of just folic acid. So I was taking methylfolate in addition to my normal prenatal that doesn't have methylfolate. So that's a good thing. Folate, like prenatal vitamins. Third thing is to take care of your body. So when I talk about stress, like working out is also a type of stress to your body. So there are a lot of Olympic athletes that have issues with their reproductive health. So this is not to say you don't work out. This is if you're a bodybuilder. If you're like me who work at the gym, who's crazy about working out, I used to work out like 3 hours a day. So when I was trying to conceive, I intentionally worked out only 1 to 1.5 hours a day, just so that I don't stress my body. So we always talk about the mental stress, right? The chronic stress, but working out, like heavy lifting, it's a stressor to our body physically to stimulate the growth hormones. But at the same time, like even though I still worked out during my entire pregnancy, I tried to do more moderate workout. I worked out a little bit less than normal because I don't want the extra stressor to my body either. The next thing is to eat enough fatty acid. Eat a lot of salmon, eat a lot of avocado. So like you need healthy fats in your body. This is not the time to go on any special diet unless you've been doing it consistently in the past and you talk to your doctors. There are ways to do it. But pregnant women should not do intermittent fasting, should not fast. Pregnant women should not do like crazy keto diet. It's okay to do low carb diet, but keto diet could be dangerous to pregnant women. So these are also things to talk about, is like change your lifestyle to the point that it feels like you're already living that pregnancy life even before you're pregnant. The next thing I want to talk about is to exercise. Yes, I talk about do not over-exercise, but at the same time, starting the exercise, starting doing yoga before pregnancy is the best thing you could do to your body, because it's harder once you're pregnant. It's harder to start a new workout once you're pregnant, but it's so beneficial to prevent gestational diabetes. It's so beneficial to have like a healthy pregnancy. So start to exercise before you're pregnant, moderate exercise is good enough. So lastly, I want to talk about is the trying to conceive after miscarriage. So I had a miscarriage 3 months before I conceived successfully for my current baby. So it was very, very hard. I do not wish anyone in this world to have a miscarriage, but it's important to know that it's not your fault that you miscarried a baby. It's usually like there's something with the genetics, it didn't go well, the DNA. Most of the times, even if the baby like go full term, they may not survive the world for long. Most of the miscarriage are caused by like the DNA like not working well. It's like not the easiest thing, but at the same time, to understand the science of it, it's very helpful to me to deal with it. So it's very important personally, it was very important for me to let it go. And it's also important for me to know that I think my doctor was a very good one. She was telling me like, it's not your fault. So if you do have a miscarriage and in the past and trying to conceive again, I think it's very important to have a negative pregnancy test before you try again, because after I miscarried my baby, I kept having positive pregnancy tests for another 2-3 weeks until my period came back. So it was actually crazy because I don't know if I was pregnant or it was the pregnancy hormones from my previous miscarriage still not leaving my body. You can get pregnant without a period after your miscarriage, but the problem is I was driving myself bananas in a way that I don't know if it's the hormones from my previous pregnancy or it was the hormones from the new pregnancy. I was like, you don't have to wait to try again after a miscarriage. But personally, I think it's very important to have a negative pregnancy test first. And then I was like, okay, I'm blank slate again. If I have a positive test, it's not false positive. So the chance of a false positive pregnancy test is very rare. It's usually caused by a cyst, sometimes a tumor, and sometimes it was because from your previous miscarriage. So personally, I feel like it's important for me to know if I have a positive test, it's because I'm pregnant, not because of my miscarriage. So just something to think about if you're trying to conceive after a miscarriage. These are the things that I personally found important for me. Alrighty, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope my tips and tricks, my personal experience can be helpful to you. Check out my videos for other parenting motherhood content and subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!